Okay, so good morning everyone, and this is another analysis. I'm going to talk about analysis on Solana USD. Solana USD. Okay, so as usual, first things first, to look for our zones. See that there's a resistance becomes support, becomes to this about it, there's a zone around here. Let's see. Let's place our line. Usually the best way to actually mark out zones is actually using this tool, because zones are actually regions of price. So the best way to mark out zones is actually using these tools. If you mark it out like this, it becomes much clearer. But I still prefer to use simple lines, because I still prefer to use, as a rule of thumb, instead of marking out the entire zone, I use the red line plus the about 4-hour psychological level. That's this closest psychological level from the top and the bottom. It's what I consider to be the entirety of my market zone. So we have a market zone here, anyways, which is a weekly zone. Price has pierced through it, but price still has a habit of obeying it. But let's ignore it since it will probably be clear on the daily time frame. So let's just ignore that one. There's a level, there's a zone around here. Should I mark it out? This is still valid. Support here became resistance here. You can see based on the long candlestick, the price is actually giving it respect. So yeah, let's mark it out. Right about here. Right for the weekly zone. Today is obviously a Sunday morning, since I'm certain that the worship songs making their way through. I find it interesting that this is actually a zoom. Although this also counts as our highest high. So this would be our all-time high. This is another zone, because you can see that price, although the candlestick press past it, you can see that here and here price closes at this exact level. And this exact level that price closes at is where price finds a limit here as well. So that's another weekly zone. And I'll go down to the daily time frame, because there are no trends. Okay, there's a bit of a trend line right here. This actually seems to be the best fit for this trend line, but then to break our rules for trying trend lines, since we always draw trend lines from the candlestick week. So draw another trend line from here across here. Shows that this trend line has actually already been broken through. This trend line has already been broken through. That means it's no longer valid. Not only is it no longer valid, price has been ranging at this point for a while. And price in front of the weekly zone. So price has actually be ready to turn around and go into a new buying phase. Let's switch back to the daily time frame to see if we can notice any market structure. That was already on the daily. There's no particularly notable market structure, just trend origin, trend origin, trend origin, trend origin, trend origin. So looking to the daily time frame, we can see we can mark this out as our trend origin. At the same time, let's switch back to the weekly time frame. We can see that price has not gone below this level since, where's the date? since 2024 April. Price has not gone below this level since 2024 April. So that means that we should be fairly confident that price is actually, although this is a trend line, and this is, impulsive correction and impulsive correction and impulsive correction and impulsive. We would not consider this a correction and move with the expectation that we would normally consider this an impulsive correction and move with the expectation that a new bearish impulsive would appear. But price since 2024 has not gone below this specific line, this one right here. Price has not gone below it. Although it's not impossible for price to go below it, but technical analysis is all about this thing. Technical analysis is all about patterns. Okay, so let's mark it all out. This is our daily market structure. So let's mark out our daily market structure. These are all of our previous higher lows that we broke. This higher low has yet to be broken. This is the lowest point of price. Price got down to this here, price came back up here. But then price has broken through it, but only ever so slightly. So impulsive correction, impulsive. So it's one thing that actually gets a little bit confusing about market structure, because when it comes to market structure, you need a valid break. Let me actually mark it out since this is our lowest point. When it comes to market structure, you need a valid break. And sometimes it's hard to tell whether a slight poke like this counts as a valid break, or if it counts as just, a little bit of overextension. But in this case, we'll just count it as a valid break, because why not? After our price has never gone below this level since 2024. So it's be strange for me to expect price to go below this level. So let's just assume that this right here is a break, making this the most recent previous lower high. That means that based on market structure alone, once there's a break of this level with body, we should be expecting a buy at least to this point. Once there's a break in this market structure, the break in market structure will lead to a change in the director. The only sad part is that I'm looking at this exact same level, and price does not seem to have any specific pattern that it forms before price retraces off of this level. Okay, I'm not doing this right time. Yeah, okay, so now let's check it again. Let's see if there's any similarities that we can find between what price is doing right now and what price has done in the past. If we can find any similarities between what price is doing right now and what price has done in the past, then okay, so at this point you can see the price was caught within a range from here to here to here to here before price finally broke through to the top side. So what do we see? Price retraced from this level, broke past, and was caught within a range within these two weekly zones for finally breaking through. There's a W pattern right before price broke through, but that might not really be very relevant. After all, there's also a W pattern here right before price reaching the peak, and there's even there's also a W pattern here. Anyways, price came down to this point, tried to press below, but then came back up. Price reached this point and then came back down, and price has been caught in a range. Well, not really caught in a range. Price was caught in a range between here and here, roughly. But then price broke out of it. But then again, even though price broke out of it, it's only a slight break, so it can still be considered to be within the range. Usually, when we have a rectangular range, we say price usually go in the same direction of the initial trend. But in this case, because of this weekly zone, what we're going to buy instead, waiting for price to break this previous lower high, which will give us a break in market structure, which will be our buy, and that buy might be limited to here, since this is also a very relevant zone, but it's also possible for it to stretch to here. But for now, it's best for us to keep our expectation here. So it's best for us to keep our expectation a little bit lower, in fact. Just a few points short, because market always does what's in his mind. And yeah, that's about it. Go down to the H4 time frame. Let's see if we can. First, I want to see the H4 time frame actually. First, I want to look for the H4 time frame actually is what patterns does price print out whenever a correctional move ends and a new impulsive move begins. You can see there's a W here on the H4. And then there's not just one M, there's actually two M's that appear side by side. An M appears here, and then another M appears here. So you have two M's that appear side by side. Here we have this strange pattern. Price comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down. But you can still see that there's an M pattern, roughly. Here the M pattern is actually zooming a bit. The M pattern is much smaller. You can see a tiny M pattern on this place, followed by a big bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. So this can either be considered one M pattern or a bit of an abnormal pattern, but let's just consider it an M pattern. And then here we don't even have an apparent M. Now, what does price have a tendency to do before switching from an impulsive to a correction? We have a W here. Price touch this same level. We have actually an upward trend line here. That's actually quite interesting. An upward trend line. So maybe I can. We have a resistance level here where price responds with very long candlestick wicks. Price also prints some long candlestick wicks here and here. But there are no notably long candlestick wicks around here. So I can't say I spotted a pattern there. Next is structure within a structure. So we have an impulsive, we have a correctional. We have an impulsive. Expecting a correctional to a new impulsive. Okay, look at this. On the H4 structure within a structure. This red line is our previous lower high on H4. H4 structure. Let's just say previous is obviously the most recent. Previous lower high. So if price breaks this previous lower high, then that means that will be my first indication to enter this trade. So yeah, I'm waiting for a break with body. Yeah, so this is just about it. That's about my full expectation. Once price breaks this level, I should be jumping in on a trade. Once price breaks the level with body on the 4-hour time frame, it will be even better if I can wait for something like a retracement, for example, for price to go up and then maybe come down from a W. But since I didn't really notice any patterns to make me expect a W, I can't really hold for that. So that's about it.